Assalamu alaikum. So today we will move to the other part of the algebraic operation on fractions. In the previous class, we did learn how to reduce the fraction to its lowest terms, means simplify it, and also we learned how to multiply two fractions and how to divide two fractions. Today we will learn how to add and subtract fractions. So there are some rules to follow. So to add or subtract two fractions, you write them as equivalent fractions with a common denominator and add or subtract their numerators. So this is the important step in adding or subtracting fractions. But let's see how. Let's start with this example. Calculate 1 over 5 plus 2 over 5. See, the operation here is addition operation. It's called addition operation. So before you start your addition operation or subtraction operation, the first thing you should look at is the denominator. The denominator of the first fraction should be equivalent to the denominator of the second fraction. So in this case, if the two denominators are equivalent, like this example, then the answer will be one new fraction and its denominator will be the same. See here, 5, and the answer has a denominator of 5. And then you add the numerators, 1 plus 2. If this sign is minus, means a subtraction operation, you put it minus. If it's a plus, you put it a plus. Then you add 1 plus 2 is a 3 divided by 5. So this is the answer, okay? Next example is 1 over 4 plus 2 over 3. Now we want to add these two fractions. If you look at the numerator of the first fraction, denominator of the first fraction, it's 4. And the denominator of the second fraction is different, is a 3. So we cannot add the numerators here because the denominator of the both fractions are different. So the final answer will be a fraction. Which denominator to choose, 4 or 3? We cannot choose 4, we cannot choose 3. So we have to make these two fractions having the same denominator. Now, we have to rewrite each of these fractions in another form and make sure that both denominators of these fractions are the same. How to do that? See, if the first fraction is multiplied by 3 and divided by 3, means if we obtain another fraction equivalent to 1 over 4, but has a denominator of 12, we can do this by multiplying the numerator by 3 and the denominator by 3. What we will get is 1 times 3 is 3, 4 times 3 is 12. Then 1 over 4 is equivalent to 3 over 4, because if you use your calculator, both of them are having the value of 0.25. 1 over 4 equivalent to 0.25, 3 over 12 is also equivalent to 0.25. And we did learn this in the previous topic, in the first part of this fraction topic, when we said if you multiply the numerator by a number and the denominator by the same number, then you will get the same or an equivalent fraction. So this is what we are doing here. So we multiply the first fraction by 3 and divide by 3. So we obtained an equivalent fraction with a denominator of 12. Now the second fraction, if we multiply it by 4 and divide by 4, so you multiply the numerator by 4 and the denominator by 4. This is the second fraction. What we will get? We'll get 8 divided by 12. Again, 2 by 3 is a fraction equivalent to 8 by 12. Now look at these two fractions. They have the same denominator. So now if we want to add 1 over 4 plus 2 over 3, 1 over 4 can be replaced by 3 over 12 because both of them are having the same numerical value. 2 by 3 can be replaced by 8 by 12 because both of them have the same numerical value. Okay? remember here, this fraction and this fraction, both of them are the same. This fraction and this fraction, both of them are the same. So if you add 1 over 4 and 2 over 3, your answer will be the same as if you add 3 over 12 to 8 over 12. Because 1 over 4 is equivalent to 3 over 12. 2 over 3 is equivalent to 8 divided by 12. So adding these two fractions, 1 over 4 and 2 over 3, is the same as if you add 3 over 12 plus 8 over 12. But why do we have to do this? We have to do this because to add these two fractions, their denominator should be the same. Now here in this case, the denominator of both fractions is 12, and then we can apply the rules similar to the question number A. So once you have the same denominators for both fractions, then the final answer will have the same denominator 12, and now you add up the two numerators, so 3 plus 8. You add them. The answer will be 11 by 12. You cannot solve this equation unless you make the denominators equivalent to each other. In Arabic, you call it Tawheedul Maqamat, okay? Let's have other questions. 7 by 12 minus 5 by 8. So we need to subtract. This is subtraction operation. Well, how can we make 12 and 8 similar to each other? The simplest way to do that is to make the denominators the same. What you can do is you multiply the first fraction by 8. 8 times 7 divided by 8 times 12. I got 8 from the second fraction, minus, you multiply the second fraction by 12. 12 times 5 divided by 12 times 8. So I multiplied the first fraction by 8 and divide by 8. I got 8 from the second fraction, its denominator. And multiply the first fraction, the second fraction by 12. I got the second fraction, the 12 from the denominator of the first fraction. Now, if you notice here, the denominator of the first fraction becomes 8 times 12. The denominator of the second fraction is the same. It's 12 times 8. We said 12 times 8 is the same as 8 times 12. So here we'll have 8 times 7. What is 8 times 7? Is 56. Minus 12 times 5 is 60. Divided by, keep this, 8 times 12. Don't multiply it because we need to simplify, so keep it in this form. Now, 56 minus 60, you can use your calculator, is minus 4, right? And 8 times 12. Now you realize why I kept this, I did not multiply it, because 4 can be cancelled, okay? So now this is 4. 8, we can write it as 4 times 2. And this is times 12. So 4 can be cancelled with 4, and the remaining on the top will be 1. So the final answer will be minus 1. Don't forget the negative sign. And 2 times 12 is 24. So the final answer will be minus over 24. Okay? So this is the way we solve such a question. Okay? There are some practice problems here. Without using your calculator, you have to do these practice problems. So I will leave these practice problems for you. You can solve them at home. Let's have some examples of algebraic expressions or algebraic fractions. Well, the same thing for multiplication. We have to deal with the multiplication operation first. So we multiply numerator by numerator and denominator by denominator. So I can say here the solution, this is the first fraction, this is the second fraction. You can multiply x times 2 is 2x, and then the denominators here will be x, and x minus 1 we put it in a bracket because this is one complete term, and x plus 4 another term. Okay. Now you can see if you can cancel some terms from the numerator and denominator. Yes, there's a common term, x and x can be cancelled, and the final answer will be 2 divided by x minus 1 in the first bracket multiplied by the second bracket with x plus 4. Here for the division, again, we have to convert the division sign to multiplication sign. So the first fraction will be written as it is, 2 divided by x minus 1, and the division sign will be converted to multiplication sign, and then the second fraction will be inverted. X will be written down and x minus 1 up. So now this operation, the division operation, converted to the multiplication operation. Now you can see here, if you multiply 2 times x minus 1 over x minus 1 by x, if I put a bracket for the whole term here and a bracket for the whole term, then this bracket will be cancelled with this bracket, and the remaining will be cancellation. I said division means 1 and 1, so 2 times 1 is 2, and 1 times x is x. So the final answer is 2 by x. Here let's see the addition of algebraic fractions. Again here we have two fractions and we have to add these two fractions because this operation is an addition operation. First we have to look at the denominators and see if they are equivalent or not. Yes, in this example they are the same. Then the final answer will be having the same denominator, which is x squared plus 2, and then we have to add up the numerators of both fractions. So x plus 1, this is the numerator of the first fraction, plus x minus 6 is the numerator of the second fraction. And then we have to add these, we have to look for the like terms. X and x, we can add them together to 2x, and 1 minus 6 is minus 5. So the final answer will be 2x minus 5 divided by x squared plus 2. Now, for the subtraction, well, we need to subtract these two fractions. Again, for addition or subtraction, we have to make sure that the denominators are the same. But in this example, the denominator of the first fraction is x plus 2, and the denominator of the second fraction is x plus 1. So first step is to unify the denominators. We have to make the denominators equivalent to each other. And then how can we do that? Well, we have to multiply the first fraction by x plus 1 and divide by x plus 1. So this is the first fraction. I multiplied it by x plus 1 and divide by x plus 1. I got x plus 1 from the second fraction, the denominator of the second fraction. So the first fraction becomes like this. We multiplied by x plus 1 in a bracket, and we divide the denominator, or we multiply the denominator by the same term, which is x plus 1. How about the second fraction? The second fraction should be multiplied by the denominator of the first fraction and divide by the same term. Means we have to multiply by x plus 2. See, 1 multiplied by x plus 2 is x plus 2, and then x plus 1 multiplied by x plus 2. So I got x plus 2 from the first fraction, the denominator of the first fraction. Now, if you look at the two fractions here, the new ones, they have the same denominators. See, x plus 2 in bracket and x plus 1 in bracket. So the subtraction of these two original fractions is equivalent to the subtraction of these two new fractions. And now the answer will have the same denominator, which is x plus 2 times x plus 1. And we have to subtract these two numerators. So the numerator of the first fraction, x times x plus 1, minus the numerator of the second fraction. Now, what we need to do is we have to multiply out these two brackets and look for the like terms and simplify it. So multiply out the first bracket. X times x is x squared. X times 1 is 1, so x times 1 is x, so plus x. Here minus in front of the bracket. We said if there's a minus sign in front of the bracket, this minus sign will change the signs of all terms inside the bracket. So the sign of x becomes minus, and the sign of 2 becomes minus. So we expanded all these brackets on the numerator. Leave the brackets in the denominators as they are. Don't expand them. Now look for the like terms. X minus x will be cancelled because x minus x is 0. And the remaining will be x squared minus 2. So this is the final answer. You don't have to multiply or to multiply out these two brackets. There are some practice problems. I will leave these practice problems for you. We can discuss these during the class if you cannot solve them. So this is a multiplication operation. And here we have division, and then we have addition and subtraction. So try to solve these equations at home. You might be able to solve them. Still, if you don't understand, refer back to the video from the beginning and watch it again and again until you understand the steps. And then you can use those steps explained in the examples to solve these questions. If you still don't understand, during our live session, during the class, we can discuss further. I think that's it for fractions. Thank you very much. I will stop here.